we're gonna look at a couple strategies that I use to swing trade cryptocurrency. It's not really like this is a strategy you could use if you're not if you don't want to actually learn how to like trade. And I think cryptocurrency is the best one to do that with because there's really nothing that moves the market like earnings and whatnot. Sure, there is news and listings and delistings and it's the closest thing you can get to gambling that's considered investing. So right now we're looking at Pepe. I first bought into Pepe 4 days ago now. I bought into Pepe 4 days ago. I bought $5,000 in Pepe, which equals 489 million coins, I suppose. I bought those at about 10.20. If we're looking at our price right now, I bought those about 10.20. I bought another 10,000 at about 10 cents flat, and then I bought another 15,000 at about 10 cents flat right now. It dropped down to 9.56, so we could see that on our 1 week chart. On August 25th, it dropped all the way down to, let's go to advanced mode. I don't know why I'm not on advanced mode right now. On August 25th, you can see it dropped down all the way to 9.54. So it dropped down to 9.54 on August 25th. And I bought a little bit before that drop, and then I bought a little bit after when it recovered. And it recovered up to, and then it hit about 10.30, I think. Yeah, so 10.30 is what it hit. That would have been about $500. It might have been a little bit more than that, $700 profit if I sold. But here's the thing that I look at when I'm swing trading a crypto. It's not necessarily how much you can nickel and dime it here and there, but overall it's not worth your time and energy. So if you have enough money to where you're confident in the fact that I don't need this money and I'm willing to throw it away for 5 months, 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, a week, whatever, it's really hard to lose if you're on a high volume crypto, unless you're buying at a stupidly high price. So what I'll do is I'll do something like go on CoinMarketCap. And I watch the same cryptos I've been watching them for about 2 years now. So a good example of something that could really affect you would be when LitEntry got delisted. So LitEntry. So I was really big on LitEntry. I bought in and out of it. Let's look at the 1 year. So I would always buy at my 59 cent. That was my buy-in. I would always buy LitEntry. If it hit below 60 cents, that was my buy. It would dip a couple times below 60 cents. But for the most part, if you look at a chart and you see, oh man, this is a really solid buy-in, let's do it. I mean, you can't really miss on something like that. And like I said, every time, if you look at all time, hit about 54 cents, go to 90 cents. Hit about 60s, ramp up, $1.30. So it wouldn't always drop there, but if I could find it at that price, it would be a good buy. Almost guaranteed within 5 or so months, it would be up to $1.30 if you're patient enough and willing to take a loss for a little bit and sit on it. Now, where this one went wrong for a lot of people was it was getting delisted. This is why it's so important to check the coins and stuff that you're investing in, because LitEntry, for example, did get delisted. So after that, the volume went from being, volume before, here, we can see the volume. I'm stupid. We can't see the volume on this. I've never looked into it that deep. So yeah, right here, 14 million, 10 million. Your volume's very high. 13, 17 million, 23 million, 10 million. Then it gets delisted. Instantly drops to 115,000 within the day. The volume's not there anymore to where you can recover if you're purchasing large amounts of cryptocurrency on these. That's one thing I'd really be careful for. And yes, you will still have opportunities to recover. Usually, it's hard if it's your platform it's being delisted on. I know on Coinbase there wasn't much you could really do if you had LitEntry and it got delisted. I think there's ways you could recover it. I'm not really sure. I never let it get to that point where I had to recover it. But I would be really careful with that. Sure, there are going to be people who push it up because they did get stuck with it, whether they didn't check the news, they didn't know what was going on. But outside of that, you just have to be very, very cautious with cryptos being delisted, because it is a quick way to lose your swing. You know, you think, oh, I got it in a good price, or oh, it's a good price. Always check what's going on. You know, and sometimes you'll get people on CoinMarketCap, oh, it's bad, this, that, and that, bunch of crap. But one thing I will look at 100% of the time, if it is being delisted, be very cautious. You know, it's like a stock on the stock market going on pink sheets. You know, it could be gone. So, but like I said, what I do is I'll go with something like Pepe. Right, Pepe, for instance, is a good one. We're going to ignore the fact that in February 1st or 16th, 2024, one of the last days that it was really low. So let's look at this. 82 million, 42 million, 131 million. You know, 1.5 billion, 1.2 billion, 1.5 billion. It's very hard if the volume's at this level for it to drop that low again. It can, don't get me wrong, but if it did and there wasn't a reason like it being delisted or some really bad news, every once in a while you'll get, a currency getting hacked. I think Sui, I think that's the name. It got hacked and funds got transferred a while back. I think in April as well, and it lost. It took a pretty heavy loss one morning. But outside of that, it's pretty hard for them to lose, and usually they'll come back. And that's what I'm saying is be comfortable with the loss. I think being comfortable with the loss is one of the biggest things you can learn on crypto trading in general. Is a lot of people, they'll sell once they're down. They'll go down $1,000, $500, whatever it is for them, and they're instantly like this. They're out of it. So I think one of the biggest things is be a comfortable bag holder. Don't just think, oh, I'm out this much or I'm out this much. Yeah, that sucks. But if you are patient, it will get ran back up. Patience is just one of the biggest things when it comes to trade. Be patient on the down. Be patient on the up. There's been many times where I've sold way too soon and regretted it. I'm like, oh, I'm up $500, I'm up $1,000, I'm up $2,000, I'm up $3,000, and I sell like this when really I waited 5 months for it to get to the point where I'm in a position to where I can sell this for profit now. I was down for 6 months, 7 months. I was down a lot. Maybe 60%, 50, 60%. So you wait for this time for it to run up. Be patient on the way up as well. Don't let your money be tied up, and then as soon as it gets you break even, boom, you sell out. You've already waited 7 months. See what happens. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of people who will see, oh, I guess I'm down about $600 on it right now. Said I bought about 30. I'm down to 29, 33, 44. This is a really great example of where a lot of people will see, oh, I'm down this much or I'm down that much. I'm just gonna sell and cut my losses, or they'll just drop it. And I think that's a very foolish mistake that people make very often. And if you can learn to be patient with these, they'll usually come around. And like I said, don't just be patient when you're down. Don't just be patient trying to reclaim your money. Be patient on the upside as well. Be patient when it's like, okay, I've waited 3 months. Like I said, a great example of this also would be with Wayfinder Prompt. So Prompt, I bought it at about 18 cents. Well, I went to bed, I guess, at 21 cents. I was up about $500. And I wake up the next morning and I'm down 3,000 and I'm down 5,000 and I ended up being down about 70% on this one. And it was for a while. So I'm already locked in at this price. I figure I may as well just ride it out. Eventually, on one random day, I wake up, it hits 33 cents. Like I said, we do have Pepe right now. I think this 10 is a pretty good buy around that 10 spot. If anything and it drops to 6, that'd be an even greater opportunity for us because we'd be able to accumulate a lot more at a very good price. So I wouldn't be mad at that either. We're not going to probably get 26. We're not going to get 16. We're not going to get 14. We might get 12. And if you have enough of it and you're willing to set some money aside and risk it, it's a very reasonable return. Like I said, you have to be very patient with it. You can't get scared and panic sell on a low. But I think 1160, maybe even 1260, but that would be a very high. I don't know if that's reasonable to expect that. I think 1160 is a reasonable expectation that we could hit, and if it doesn't hit, it will hit it eventually again. Like I said, I think the worst possible outcome that I could see would be that that it takes a long time to hit that, and we're stuck in a slight loss for a while. I think that would be the worst possible outcome for buying at this price. It could drop more, but I wouldn't see that as a problem, just because it'd be a better buying opportunity and we'd be able to average down a lot. Thank you for watching.